I really thought I was gonna have like a snarky review of the 3090 Ti. Something that told you what a waste of silicon this was and how this card just didn't make any sense. I mean, this was going to be the most entertaining video in the whole world. I had like a catchy clickbait title and everything. But then, NVIDIA surprised me. Let me start by saying this. This card is probably not for you. You, sir, get your hand off your wallet, get your hand off your credit card. You right there, yes, I'm talking to you. Don't take out a second mortgage for this card. This card is for a very specific breed of customer. And for that breed of customer, it feels like the 3090 Ti is everything that the 3090 really should have been when it had its original release. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's take a minute and let's just kind of break down exactly what we got here with this card. Now don't worry, I'm not planning on doing like a 3,000-minute review of the RTX 3090 Ti and all of the nitty-gritty details. I mean, more than likely you've watched a few videos on this card before actually getting to little old me. I'm really gonna spend the next 5 to 7, maybe 10, maybe 15, saying who I really think this card should be for and who is going to be looking at this card. And then at the whole back end of the video, we will be doing nothing but graphs showing all of the work for your enjoyment, for those folks who just want to nerd out on all the the scientific-y data stuff. Now I value your time and I value folks like Gamers Nexus and Hardware Unboxed who may have way more detailed information on cards performance. In this review, I'm just gonna give you my thoughts. I'm just gonna tell you who is this card for? What kind of considerations you should take into account when you're building with this chunky, and I do mean chunky and beastly GPU. And it's all gonna be very, very game focused. Now, by the way, if you are enjoying these videos and the humor and entertainment that we try to put into getting you the relevant information while also keeping you entertained and laughing, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, stay tuned to the end on how you can win a little cash that you probably won't put towards owning like one of these cards, but help us with feedback and improving the channel anyway. Now, all that being said, let's break it down real quick. At least the stuff you care about as gamers anyway. Welcome to the RTX 3090 Ti. This thing has 10,752 CUDA cores versus the 10,496 in the 3090 and the 10,240 in the 3080 Ti. Now both the 3090 Ti and the 3090 have 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X RAM, but the 3090 Ti will be running at 21 gigabits per second, which is nearly a 7.7 jump in memory clock over the same amount of VRAM in the 3090. The 3080 Ti is still sitting at half of that with 12 gigabytes and an even slower memory clock speed than the 3090. Okay, so a brief thing about memory performance, and I'm gonna try and make this simple. It's not just about how much memory you actually have, but how fast it can actually be accessed. So if you think of VRAM as like, I don't know, like a water cooling reservoir in like a water-cooled PC, and you think of like the memory bus, so like the bus speed as the fat pipe going into that reservoir, obviously the bigger the pipe, the more liquid you can push in and out of it. So for us, like the pipe, like the memory bus, or how much liquid can come out of that reservoir is kind of the same across all the high-end 3000 series cards, like your 3080, 3090. But on the 3090 and 3090 Ti, there's this thing called memory speed. And that memory speed is like a pump. And the faster that pump is, the more liquid, or in this case data, that can be pushed through the system. Basically, the memory clock speed is our pump pushing through your 384-bit bus, which is your pipe, into your 24 gigabytes of VRAM, which is your container. Helpful? Now, how much VRAM do you need for gaming? Well, that's kind of a question. Honestly, most people would say the sweet spot is around 8 gigabytes right now. But with modern games, that's actually quickly changing. We've seen games like Cyberpunk using allocations of north of 8 gigs at 4K with ray tracing and all the bells and whistles, which means that those 12 gig 3080s or the 3090 and 3090 Ti are actually good for what's coming over the horizon with the likes of like Witcher 4, which you guys know will probably be on 8000 series by then, or Crysis 4, but point being, if you're talking about bleeding edge, the 3090 Ti is still overkill and has some future legs on it. What the heck are future legs? I mean, what image does that actually put in your head? Now, the other thing that is going to be good for gaming is the boost clock on the card, which for the 3090 Ti is 1920 versus the 3090, which is 1740, and the 3080 Ti, which is 1800. Wait, Robey. The 3080 Ti has a higher boost clock? Yep, as does the 3080. And obviously just boost clock doesn't determine performance because the memory speed is faster than the 3090, but there are games that the 3080 Ti will actually outperform a 3090. I know, it blows your mind. However, the 3090 Ti is like the Koenigsegg of GPUs. If you don't know what a Koenigsegg is, look it up. Find out how to spell it. Beautiful car brand. Anyway, it's the Koenigsegg here with not only the fastest VRAM speed, but also the highest boost clock, which in this case directly translates to a faster card holistically for gaming, with plenty of room to spare. So how does it actually translate to gaming, Robey? Well, let's use something generic to just kind of kick it off and very kind of NVIDIA focused too. Now again, all of these things were done on a 12900K with DDR4, all the awesome bells and whistles. That's kind of let's talk about the baseline. There we are. And the other thing too is for the most part, when we set DLSS, it was set to performance in this case. Now, I know we can argue that stuff, but I want to just give you the baselines. If you want to know the specifics, wait till the graphs at the very end of the video. Now in this case, we're going to use 3D Mark's DLSS feature set for the testing. Now this is a great way to just show how big of a gap the 3090 Ti really makes here. Oh, and to be clear, all of these are going to be at 4K. I mean, I already got some great illustrations on how much overkill this card really is for gamers anyway, so we aren't going to talk about 1080p or 1440p because this is really a 4K or even heck, I know I wince to say it, but actually an 8K graphics card. So if you're like one of those Honda Civic folks who drops like a P51 Mustang engine into your car so you can race the kiddies, then, well, this is the wrong review. Yes, I know. You can't technically use a P51 Mustang inside of Honda, but have you met some of those Honda modders out there? Exactly. Okay, I'm dodging your bullets, your evil glares right now, and I know that there is a world in which esport players are glaring at me because a 3090 Ti would actually make them drool at 1080p, and I get that. This isn't for you. It's a powerful card, but I'm really gonna talk about for those of us who are gamers starting to get into 4K and maybe 8K, because you're like a special or even special breed. So caveat aside, let's get back to the review. So let's talk about the biggest jump here with this DLSS test, which is the base 3080 compared to the 3090 Ti. We're seeing a 21% performance increase over the 3080 base with the 3090 Ti. For the current, what I would consider king of gaming cards, the 3080 Ti, there's actually an 11% jump in performance, and then finally versus the 3090, there is a 9% jump, which is a bit larger than we would have anticipated given how close the 3080 Ti and 3090 were. Even in the other generic non-gaming benchmarks like Unigine Heaven, Superposition, and Valley, which are good indicators of performance across the different types of gaming engines, we saw hefty uplifts with the 3090 Ti. We saw 11% over the 3090 in Heaven, 10% in Superposition, and 10% in Valley, and you can add a percentage point or two to each of those with a jump over the 3080 Ti. Okay, finally about gaming, and this is where we're just gonna use Cyberpunk. Whoa, hold on. Yes, we tested a bunch of other games, and you can see all of that data at the end. But if I can really tell you how good Cyberpunk is, then you're gonna get a really good indication about how good this card is for gaming. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your virtual bricks really hurt me. Seriously, stop throwing them at me. I'm very sensitive. So how did the 3090 compare in Cyberpunk 2077? Oh, and thank you very much to team at CD Projekt Red for actually making a benchmark for this game. Kevin is very grateful. So at 4K with DLSS set to ultra performant, we saw 94.89 frames per second versus the 3090 at 82.90 frames per second. That is a 13% jump. Now the interesting thing, and if you remember for like 200 hours ago when I was talking about the boost clocks being faster on the 3080 Ti, the performance jump over the 3080 Ti is actually only 9% in Cyberpunk. But still, starting to see something close to 100 frames per second in 4K on Cyberpunk is actually pretty dang cool. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't hit on some non-NVIDIA optimized titles, and we did test a smattering of those, as well as what we might consider an agnostic title like Hitman. Now you might be like, Robey, what does agnostic mean? It just means that it's not favoring Team Red or Team Green. We saw the least jump in Assassin's Creed Valhalla with an only 3% jump in performance on the 3090 Ti versus the 3080 Ti, and the largest jump in Borderlands 3 at 11% over the 3090 versus the 3090 Ti. Now, to be clear, and I know we're not talking a lot about Team Red data here like the 6900 XT, but in those AMD optimized titles, the 6900 XT still crushes it. And again, there's still a world that you may choose the 6900 XT over a 3090 Ti. It just depends about the games that you want to pick, and if you want to get more information on that, check out my PC part picking 101 video right here, which will tell you a little bit about where you may choose one over the other. As for Hitman 3, which kind of just makes everyone happy and favors neither Team Red nor does it favor Team Green, we saw a 9% jump over the closest card with our 3090 Ti, with the 3090 Ti hitting it at 130.67 frames per second versus the 119 that we were getting from the 3080 Ti. So what we have here is the most powerful gaming GPU on the market. Now, I didn't say the best, I said the most powerful, because best is relative to the person who is purchasing the GPU. If your budget is $500 for a gaming rig, then no, this isn't the best GPU for you. If you're using the 1080p 60Hz monitor that all of your friends are judging you for, this, again, is not the best GPU for you. If you upgrade your gaming rig, like every time a new card gets announced and you have to get the best of the best and your budget is $10,000, but yet your job is only like collecting butterflies and painting fences, which it's like an HGTV meme, so look it up, then hey, this is the best gaming GPU for you. Okay, all joking aside, fundamentally, and I'm using NVIDIA's language here, this card is targeted at content creators, and not just any content creators, advanced content creators. Now, I'd love to know what picture comes to your mind when you think of an advanced content creator. Okay, but what NVIDIA considers an advanced creator is production quality work with like insanely large models in like Blender, Maya, or Cinema 4D that not only require a powerful GPU like this, but also powerful GPU RAM like this. You know, people like game creators, VFX artists, and that one dude who made like Stardew Valley. It's also for people like MKTB and Linus who are like editing in 8K RAW, unlike the rest of us who are working in our paltry 4K. I can see Linus right now, looking, judging, laughing at us with his like petabyte of storage, saying, "Look at you playing with your little Tinker toys in your 4K videos. Ha 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 ha. Thanks, Linus." Anyway, here's the deal. NVIDIA wants us to compare this card to the top-of-the-line Titan RTX cards, which were like $2,500 back in the medieval times, before human malware and when the world made sense. The card was not a gaming card, but the 3090 Ti is a gaming card, and a very solid 4K one. And I still laugh at NVIDIA, which says that it's an 8K gaming card, but they aren't really wrong. With the sheer amount of VRAM and the very fast VRAM that this card has, I mean, it is capable of 8K, but right now, let's be honest, 8K gaming isn't really a thing. Now, worth mentioning is that all of this power comes at a cost. Now, because this GPU eats like PSUs for breakfast, recommendations for this EVGA RTX 3090 Ti FTW3 is a minimum of 850 watts if you're using their new PCIe 5 power adapter that comes with the card. Now, please, for the love of God, do not do that. 1,000 watts is the minimum recommendation, especially if you're using like a power-hungry 12900K or some other very high-end CPU. Unless you really want to just kind of punch your PSU in the face like it's Fight Club every single day when you turn on your PC. Wait, Robey, hold on. No, rewind it a little bit. No, a little bit further. No, it was fun watching you punch your PSU. No, I'm talking about this PCIe 5 thing that you were talking about. What the heck is that? Okay, so there are new PSUs that are coming out with a new PCIe power plug. That is like, looks like the Founders Edition GPU plug, and I'm sure we're going to show you here for you to look at as well. Now, this thing is capable of offering up to 525 watts of pure power. Now, the RTX 3090 Ti is capable of pulling 480 watts on its own, and this is the EVGA one. So hence the change to this new adapter. Now, don't worry, All of the 3090 Ti's that we have and have seen are coming with the adapter in the box. So you can use your legacy 3 8-pin connection with your old PSU, but I'll be honest, they aren't too attractive. Now structurally, that's not the only thing that changed on this GPU. I mean, looking at this EVGA 3090 Ti for the Win 3, you can see that it is thick, like CCC plus 0.5 thick. I cannot get over just how big this card really is. And luckily, EVGA's For the Win 3 card at least has some structural changes, like a heatsink that is directly attached to the I/O to make this card more solid. It's so thick. Oh, and did I happen to mention that this card, the 3090 Ti For the Win 3, comes with an E-leash cable, which attaches to the top of your gaming case and helps provide additional support for the card. Now you should check out the video from EVGA right here on how this whole thing works. And of course, you can see it with the card we have installed here, which I'm sure we're showing you the footage of right now. Now the other great thing about the 3090 Ti from EVGA, at least the For the Win 3, is that we get all of the other features that I love about this card. The 3 BIOSes with the different fan curves for normal, quiet, and then the OC mode for its super aggressive cooling should you overclock the card. Plus the onboard fan header, which is great for cases that have fan setups to directly cool the GPU, like the Lee & Lee 0-in-1 Dynamic or the Height Y60. Okay, Robey, so it's more powerful, it's more bigger, it's more better, and it's more for advanced creators and advanced gamers. How much of a cash advance am I going to have to take out to get a hold of one of these cards? Well, first off, you shouldn't be doing that, and that is not the fiscally responsible thing to do. However, this card, at least on the EVGA side, will set you back anywhere between $1999.99 or $2199.99 for the For the Win 3 model we got right here. Now, if I just wanted to go off the For the Win 3 models from EVGA, that would be a $350 hike from the 3090 and a $770 hike from the 3080 Ti. And let's be honest, these are some of the best prices you're gonna get. Thank you, EVGA. For most people, this card is absolutely irrelevant. You're watching this video and you equate this to you getting like one of these, just like you would be getting like a mega yacht or a new supercar. Okay, maybe it's not that far of a leap, but it makes no sense financially and it's fun to dream. Like how I dream of one day owning my own plushie factory on the moon. There is, however, those gamers or individuals who are wanting to get the best of the best, and there is no budget for them to speak of. Like the $10,000 commission build I did with dual 3090s right here. This is the new best card, and unlike the 3090, I kind of feel like in many ways, this card is justifying of its price when you look at who it's targeting. Through that lens, and I'm being very specific about that lens, this card really is something fantastic. And I'm sure for many folks who this card was targeted for, this is going to make their life awesome when working on things like making games like Halo Infinite, which we used Titans for, or Witcher 4, or movies, or next-gen video content. But for gaming, I mean, this is kind of like going to your high school reunion and talking about your house with everybody and your life. And then there's that like one overachiever who gets dropped off in a helicopter who just bought that $1 billion home from Mukesh Ambani in India for just him and a single Chewini named Kipper. And for those of you who are already bought it or who are going to buy this, you know who you are. The thing that is relevant for us though is what this means for the 4000 series card, which are rumored to happen in the next 6 to 12 months, or heaven forbid, even longer. This was a bigger leap than I expected, and when you look at what is going on in the DLSS test, and again the jump we saw with the 3090 Ti, and I'm excited for the next generation of AMD and NVIDIA GPUs when we start to see the tail end here on the 3000 series cards from NVIDIA and the 6000 series cards from AMD. Even with the power jump, with that new PCIe 5 connector for power, we continue to see good jumps in performance. And for those new PC titles coming out over the next 5 years, they have a lot to work with to create cooler worlds for us, the gamers, to play in. So the TLDR, the too long didn't read, is this. It's better than what we thought. It's cheaper, actually, than we thought, with the word cheaper being relative, and it's a great glimpse into what's to come. For the people who want to get this card and are willing to pay for it, I can't argue that it isn't worth it because the value of the dollar is different for you. And I can say that the jump up to the best is more significant than it has been in the past when you consider jumping from a 3080 Ti up to a 3090. I am like itching to get one of them into my gaming rig, and that's saying something because I was not feeling that way about the 3090. But it's not about what I think, it's now about what you think. Like, what did you think of this video? Tell us, and maybe win a little cash in the process. First and foremost, you need to leave a quality comment down below, along with liking and subscribing to the channel. Now, when I say quality comment, it doesn't need to be positive, it just needs to be something you liked or didn't like about the video, what surprised you, etc., about our GPU or our review. Just not, I deserve to have this free 3090 Ti, or can I have a free PC, or something similarly lame. You also need to ensure you have a way for us to reach you in your YouTube profile, like your email. Actually, your email is what we need. So we will be giving away $25 to one lucky comment below. That is worldwide, as long as you can accept PayPal or Venmo. So did you like the video? What did you think of the RTX 3090 Ti? Are you getting an RTX 3090 Ti? Was the price more or less than what you expected? And what did you think about that whole EVGA E-leash thing? I mean, still pretty cool, but I mean, we're at that point with these thick boys. Now, I'd love to know all of that and more down in the comments below. Now, while you're down there, make sure you slap that subscribe button, whip that like button, and ring that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time we post a new video right here on Robeytech. Now, did you know we had a live stream channel as well? Probably most of you are already following it. But if you want to, check out the link in the description below for Robeytech Live, where you can also like and subscribe and know when we go live and stream builds, like we're going to be doing with this build on Wednesday, if you're watching this on Tuesday, because that's going to be the most powerful PC that you can currently build on the market. Now, do you have questions about this GPU or any other tech-related questions? Then check out our amazing Discord server filled with other tech and PC enthusiasts who love to share their thoughts and ideas on these very subjects. Are you looking for cheap tech or even maybe 3090 Ti availability? Then check out @RobeytechDeals.com, or better yet, @RobeytechDeals on Twitter, where you can have our guy Tom scouring the internet for the best deals on PCs, GPUs, components, games, etc. You name it, he's looking for it when it comes to tech. Now, finally, you can also follow me and my team on all the other socials at Robeytech pretty much everywhere. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.